Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap. Welcome to the trap.
Let's go. Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Zen.
Trap.
Protect.
Yo, peace.
Protect your energy.
You seen any good movies lately?
Nah.
Nah, no good movies lately.
No good movies.
Okay. Understood.
Have you seen any good movies lately?
You know what? I think I have.
Okay, tell me about it.
All right, so it's about this guy who is kind of like he's a star person. I'm gonna say he's a star person, but he got a really bad attitude, right? So, basically, he gets in a situation where his attitude causes him to lose what's most important to him. So he feels really bad about it, but he knows that like this time he did it. Like he can't get back to doing the work that he's passionate about and that he's really, really good at because he's kind of like a superstar almost. So he decides to take another route and do this kind of in a different lane. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Huh?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And so he's now going after this same goal, pursuing the same passion, but in a different arena, in a different space. Almost as though like he wanted to see if he could. I don't know if that was his goal to see if he could dominate in this other arena or not, but I think he was just trying to figure out how he can pursue his passion. So yeah, basically the movie is about this guy going after his dream, pursuing his passion, find a way to do that in a different arena.
That sounds like an amazing movie, man. That sounds so good.
All right, have you seen that before?
I think I might have seen this one.
You might have seen this one?
Yeah.
All right, I mean, what movie do you think it is?
Joanna Man?
That's good. That's good. Joanna Man.
He's still trying to pursue, see if he can dominate.
Yeah.
But, you know, it lead him to change and think his whole mind. He changes his whole mind.
His whole little setup. You know?
That definitely was a good movie.
Yeah, it was definitely. a good movie. If you ain't ever seen Joanna Man, go watch that.
Check it out. The strength in that story.
Honestly,
there's a redemption story.
It's an underlying theme of reinventing yourself to still pursue your goals.
Changing your perspective.
Come on now.
Welcome back for another ZTP, Zen Trap Perspective.
Come on now.
At the Zen Trap Podcast, the mission is to inspire and empower listeners to continuously seek internal peace to maximize their personal potential. I'm one of your two hosts, Zen P.
Yogi LG.
We got a great episode for you today. We're still continuing for the month of August with music and frequency. Music and vibes. Sorry, I'm saying
vibrations,
vibes,
frequencies, all of that.
Things alike. Why don't you tell them what we're reviewing today, Yogi?
All right, cool. So we actually are covering two videos today that we found.
2 for 1 special.
2 for 1. First video is The Medicine of Frequencies. What did Einstein mean? This is by Dr. Mitchell Abrams. This is also a TED Talk.
TED Talkie.
And then there's another one called Music's Power Over Your Brain, explained by Michael Spitzer, which is a great music person.
Spitzer.
Yeah, Spitzer. For sure.
That's a short video, about 7 minutes. The other one's like 19. TED Talk is a little lengthy, just kind of in the medium range, but both great videos. Why don't we just go ahead and start? What would you say? How about you do one, I do one? What would you say the music is? What's the music?
Your Brain on Music?
Your Brain on Music by Spitzer.
Yeah. Name of that one was Music's Power Over the Brain.
Correct. So give me a nice little synopsis on what Music's Power Over Your Brain by Spitzer is about.
Basically, it just kind of talks about how your brain or music is kind of developed based off of its rhythm and how you can now release dopamines based off of this rhythm and sounds. And he also kind of includes motion in there, how your body kind of responds when it hears music and what that can do for it. Can be relaxing, it can be empowering, it can be all these different things. So that he kind of summarizes how music can affect your brain as well as how you live, I think. What about you? Yeah. I mean, well, what about the other video? How did you summarize the TED Talk that we talked about medicine and frequencies?
All right, so this is what is it called? A radiologist, I believe he is. He's a radiologist, and he is really just describing how, in long form, frequencies And the power of your mind can be healing.
Yeah.
You can focus and work your brain. Your brain is a muscle. So with practice and focus and clearing your brain, you would be able to focus and kind of speed up the healing process for your body. You can focus on where you want to go. And this is all through vibrations, how we are all kind of connected through frequencies and vibrations. It's a great it's still kind of short for it to be 19 minutes, how much information you get from it, I believe.
Right.
But long story short, just how we're all kind of connected through frequencies, and that's what keeps us together. Like your body is kind of built like that to maintain those frequencies and vibes.
All right, so I think we picked 2 videos. One, because we wanted to kind of understand, like, we want to learn more about the vibrations and the frequency side, but also more about the music side. And I think both of those videos kind of hit on those. But one, I think the one where we talk about the medicine and frequencies, it definitely converted it to like energy focused. And I really like that part of it, just because we know how vibes control things. We know how all of that kind of matters. So I thought that was really on brand. What would you say is something like you learned or something that was super unique that you found in the videos?
Ooh, the most unique thing, and I'm going to go to the notes because I want to make sure I say this correctly, this term.
I think I know what you're going to call it.
Already? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why don't you say it first then, and I'll say the
I want to make sure I'm right here, but is it entrainment?
Entrainment.
I'm sorry.
Entrainment? No,
yeah,
but you can talk about entrainment. But no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Basically, it was talking about getting your heart produces this rhythm when you feel good, right? And it starts to produce this rhythm and this cadence. And so once you start kind of feeling good, you can also match your brain waves to this rhythm. The heart can it says the heart is kind of like your conductor, where it'll kind of pull your brain waves and align them to where this heart rhythm and this brain waves are aligned, and then it's kind of like you're in entrainment.
I would almost say it's the definition of being in flow state.
Yeah.
When you're in flow state, your heart and your brain's rhythm or dance or whatever, or EKG mode, it's going at the same pace. So you're in this constant flow state in your brain. It's almost like meditating, or when you're in the zone in some type of sport or a craft that you do. It could be music, could be writing, could be studying for a test. But when you just feel like you're in the zone, you don't really remember what you've been doing for the past like 20 minutes. You just were so focused and kind of just in the zone. Yeah. I thought that was a great one. Actually, the thing I was thinking of was from the other video, but we'll get to that. I'll just stick with this one for now. So we're still talking about the TED Talk video for reference. One big thing for me, which I already knew, your heart has electricity. That's kind of how they monitor your heart's rhythm, EKGs. But everything that has electricity has a magnetic field. So we all have fields of energy that goes 3 to 4 feet around us. Yeah. I felt like with that information, he's defining what your aura is, your energetic field that comes off. And that's what we've been talking about this entire time, is people having vibes and energies. And when all those energies kind of get into the same room and mix and match, you just get different feelings based off of, different people's moods or what they got going on.
What I thought was super unique about that too is, as well as like, you have the ability, because you have a field, you have the ability to kind of like change other people's field.
Correct.
You can pull, you can make sure like, and you can get them in your alignment and your rhythm and your cadence. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And that's why you need to be a thermostat and not a thermometer.
Facts. All right, do you have a favorite like bar or section from, I guess, either one of the videos? I know you had a good point from the other video. Go ahead and throw that at me.
Well, I'm gonna stay with this video just so that we can finish it up, because I don't want to kind of hop back and forth.
Okay, cool.
But I got 2 kind of favorite bars, and I don't know if I want to get at both of them, but I'm gonna hint at one. You feel less pain when you feel compassion or connection. So there is a 50% reduction in your pain receptors, and this is estimated, when you feel love or compassion. They were telling some story on average medical patients, when they having a procedure, if they have somebody come and visit them right before the procedure, they feel they need less pain meds when they're done with the procedure compared to people who don't. They need more, just because, again, they're feeling more pain versus when you're feeling like love and stuff, you can kind of numb that. Yeah. That was a bar, and kind of opens up what you always talk about, compassion and connection with people.
All right, I agree. I also thought that this was really good. It was kind of more on that conductor thing, where he talks about like your heart being a conductor and pulling different brain waves and different parts of the body to kind of align. But he also talked about like kids improving their test scores just based on that same thing. When you're able to get in that groove or that flow state, he was talking about, you basically have the power to kind of do more, right? When your energy is aligned and when you're focused and you're in this space, we can start managing that and controlling that. And kids or people who test that are able to kind of tap into that energy and tap into that space where I'm in the zone, I'm connected, I'm aligned, seem to have higher test scores. You heal faster. You do all these things differently and better because energy is so real, and you can produce the energy to make you better at kind of anything. Yeah. So I thought that was just real powerful, honestly.
My last powerful thing that I saw was towards the end, and it kind of wraps up this entire video. I did want to hint at about trauma lingering in the body, but I think we could talk about that for a little bit. And that wasn't necessarily a bar, but that was a point that I've known, but hearing it again just makes you remember. The whole video is about him kind of showing how through physics and things like that, that Mother Nature is represented in science. So he pulled up a diagram, and I thought it was crazy how the diagram of the Einstein's mathematical equation for equilibrium matches the shape of a lotus flower. That alone, when they start putting science with nature together, is always crazy to me. When they put the graph of the equation of equilibrium inside of a lotus flower and starts to explain how Einstein is looking at it from a physics and tangible action proof standpoint, and the Dalai Lama or somebody, again, it might not be the Dalai Lama, but some Buddhist person that's meditating all the time has historical traditions and practices that around the lotus flower that represents the same thing. It gets a little crazy, but I always love when science and nature meet.
Yeah, because it makes it feel like it's in true alignment.
It affirms stuff. And it's like if you have a logical brain, it kind of affirms that logical side of your brain that you want sometimes from the spiritual aspects.
Absolutely. I think that was good. I think one thing I feel like I would grow from, and I want to get what you would grow from that video, is just talking about like being able to like control that space, like being able to like put yourself in that space to be able to like create or pursue dreams or whatever. So it literally says something in there like, when you practice, your body will physically start to change. Like you will physically start to respond different to situations. You'll start to feel different. Your heart rate is going to be different because you're in this zone and you have these energies aligned. So I was like, man, I got to start practicing. Like,
I think the hardest part with that is always the setting the intention to do it, or remembering to set the intention to do it. Right. That difficult. It's very not difficult to start, but difficult to remember, to have the intention going into it to be able to do that. I would say the same thing. One thing I would want to learn from that is, I think you might have mentioned this a couple episodes back, maybe even a month or so ago. I want to take some of the information that we've been learning throughout the past couple episodes and start trying to put some more stuff into practice. Trying to slow down a bit and make sure that what I'm receiving, I'm not just kind of receiving it to regurgitate it, but receiving it to mull it over, learn it a little bit, see what sticks, what doesn't, what applies, what I can learn from it. So definitely from this video too, and that can kind of go back into trauma being trapped in the body. I've seen lots of videos where they do like healing yoga or something. I think Kevin Gates was talking about one time. You get in some yoga position and you just start crying. It's crazy. But trauma being released in the body. You're saying that you feel okay, and then it's almost like little kids or even grown-ups when you can sense that a person is sad or something, and you just ask them like, hey, are you okay? How's everything going? Finally, when somebody asks okay, they just start crying. You're like, whoa.
I wasn't expecting that.
All right. How you feel about trauma being stuck in the body? And do you recognize when trauma is like?
I mean, I think it's easier to recognize when it's like a present thing for me. Like when I'm feeling it currently, I'm feeling like tense and stuff like that. I may not notice as much that it's like residual from past stuff. And I think that it is real, and I think it happens, but I think it's harder to notice or even pay attention to. It's kind of like your nose, right? Your like eyes just start to ignore it. Your body kind of starts to ignore.
Great analogy.
Your body just starts to kind of ignore that trauma and continue forward with the pain or with the discomfort. But I think there are certain things like yoga and other emotional climaxes, I would say, that can kind of release that trauma from your body.
She talking about sex. I'm just like, emotional climaxes. What I found funny about that for me, and that's been real powerful for me in perspective changing, is questions. Even hearing a question stated a way that you haven't before, I think can help release some traumas in different parts of your brain, or
because they'll kind of unlock something, right?
Yeah, it's almost when your parents say something to you your whole life, and then you go to school and you hear another teacher say it, or you hear another adult in your life say it, and you're like, oh,
now I believe it.
Just hearing it a different way, and sometimes even from a different person, can just
make a
change and open that up.
Absolutely.
Let's get into this other video.
Okay, cool.
And honestly, now that I'm looking at my notes again, the shorter video, again, for it to be short, nuggets.
Definitely some nuggets.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Nah, go first. I went first the last time. Right, go ahead.
Well, I know the one I'm gonna steal then, because again, it's a short video. So in the other video, and this is Music is Power by Spitzer.
Yeah, music. I think
I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. What's the title?
Music's Power Over Your Brain.
Music is power over your brain. I'm just saying. Music's power over your brain. I got it. Just like House of Dragons is really House of the Dragon.
Samuel Jackson, really Samuel L. Jackson.
Correct. All the same. I learned about, and what I'll always probably remember is auditory scene analysis, aka cocktail party effect.
Yep.
So a faculty, and I'm getting all these vocabulary words from these videos, a faculty of our mind that we have is being in a room full of people talking, like you're in a restaurant or something, or at a club, and you're able to focus on just this one person, what they're saying, and be able to converse. That is called the cocktail party effect, or auditory scene analysis. So just how powerful your audio response is, your ears, of being able, and that connects back up to your brain, of being able to look at this person speaking and be able to just focus on what they're saying, even though
it's 100 other conversations.
All these conversations are happening, you're able to like zone in it. Or like, let's say they are speaking, you aren't really listening to what they're saying. You hear some other good conversation behind you to your right, and you kind of focusing on that. But it's great to know that when you think about the application of it, you can almost be like, oh yeah, I can confirm that, because I've been in situations like that where I'm able to focus on what one person is saying, even though multiple things are going on. But it's crazy that it is just one though for me. I don't know.
What you mean?
Like I can't focus.
Can't do two. Yeah,
I can't hear
two things.
Two.
Not
I only
for
can let. And if I am listening to two things, it's like a little. So it's always one channel of focus.
Absolutely. I think that's just how humans are made.
I assume, but again, I only can speak for myself.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've tried.
I don't know.
I've literally like.
Well, I'm just saying, just because I'm not capable, I don't know if if that's a limitation of just me.
I'm just telling you, maybe it's a limitation of us both, but I don't know what other people do.
Remember, you got people out there who think and can't see no images.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's true, but that's crazy.
I never would have known that.
Never would have known that. Yeah, I think I've literally tried to like sit down and listen to two things at once. Like,
what if you could do it?
Hey, if anybody can do that, let me know.
What if you could do it and understand it, interpret?
That's crazy.
I imagine people who speak multiple languages
can't do something like that.
Get very
I would say like
us.
When I have people translate for me when I'm working, like they'll start translating before I'm constantly going. They already like doing.
They jumping to the next word.
Yeah, they jumping in and like trailing right behind me as I'm talking.
La baño todo.
You terrible.
What?
That's funny. All right. Cool. So,
what was your favorite?
From that video, let's see. All right. I think that one was kind of like, this is my bar from this video. Music is violence without danger. I thought that was powerful.
That's rap. You telling me using R&B or Beethoven or something, you thinking about violence, killing people. So I'm sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
Basically what he was saying is like
punk music.
Music can provoke all of these emotions and it can be very extreme, but there's no danger to music. Music can't hurt anybody. It's just a movie. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was powerful to me, just because as much power as music has, it doesn't have the power to be like physically affect you. There's no danger in it. I said.
Oh, so I know you're not gonna say. I just realized that music can't hurt me.
No, just saying. Like,
music can't slap me in the face.
It's just as equally as like can affect.
It's emotionally powerful.
Exactly.
Music can stir up those emotions. Yeah, music is nostalgic.
It is.
Music helps you remember things because of those qualities.
And that was a big one he brought up as well. Like sometimes core memories can be kind of locked in by music. They even talk about like learning, how you can learn better with music. Like,
and all of that is in your senses.
Everything. Yeah.
Smell, using your senses. And remember, we learned that. Go check out that episode of Learning Month from that book.
Exactly.
A couple last.
Go ahead. I got a question in general.
Okay. You
go first.
You gonna remember it?
Yes.
All right. Emotions are contagious like yawns. So that's why I was also gonna say music helps you remember things. So this correlates to the other video of your emotions being able. So if I'm sad and could be sad from listening to a song, or could be sad from something actually happening to me. I come into the room, now everybody else is getting sad just because I'm sad. So music and emotions, feelings, vibrations, and things like that are contagious. And you talk about that all the time. That's why you protect the energy in a room. That's why you want to make sure that the vibe is good, because the weakest link on the team can take the whole ship down.
I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me this weekend about just music and emotions and things. It was so great. I couldn't wait to talk about this. So,
is it story time? Story time. Finally can pull that out with LGMP.
Exactly. So I was at a cookout, and so there was somebody DJing the cookout, and
God manufacturing.
Exactly. So cookouts going. We go from like regular cookout music to more like I could tell it was this person's playlist, like the music they like. So it was still rap, kind of some mainstream, some not. And I was like, all right, whatever, cool. And then like I think this person kind of had an emotional moment in the middle of like the cookout.
You could tell the moment they had.
Tell.
No, I'm asking. You could tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could tell the moment they had.
Absolutely. Music just kind of shifted to like a totally different genre. We went there very like vibey. Then we went to like intense R&B to like love songs. And I was like, somebody going through something here. And what's crazy is the whole party kind of like went from like a elevated cookout vibe to like people like, all right, well, I'm about to go home. I got to get home to my baby. Like I ain't been home all week. Like I almost spent my the whole day out. I got to get back to the house. Because the music in that space literally like dictated the vibes. Although this person started to feel like more attached to their partner that was there, or like they were feeling like,
I'm sending that text now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know it's crazy. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think it's just cool that like in that space, like me and a couple of the friends were there. We felt the energy kind of shift, but that person's energy shifted in a different direction. Ours shifted one, theirs shifted differently. So just knowing that music can affect you in very different ways as well.
I just wanted to piggyback and affirm all of that. We're learning. I'm in the DJ classes right now. We're learning all about that, being in control of the energy in a room. How you can almost not instigate, but you can provoke fights and things with music, or keeping the energy so high and then bringing it down abruptly, what that can do to a room. And just being in control of that, how powerful that is. That's why, my little DJ tagline or headline, I'm going to put vibe manufacturer. I'm not a DJ. I'm a vibe manufacturer. But they even talk about having a residency at like a bar and things. You don't want to be going full throttle all night. One, people will get tired. Two, let's say they are just enjoying themselves so much, they don't go to the bar and buy drinks. So sometimes at the club, when you see somebody going like a nice run for like 6, 7, 8 songs or something, and then they dip it down a little bit, it's like, giving people a chance to go to the bathroom, go hit the bar, go do something, talk a little bit, then going back up, and even controlling it with the volume of the music and just different things.
Yeah.
So much. So this kind of all goes hand in hand.
We both having experiences around music and how that affects you. It's perfectly aligned with what we're going through this month. So that's really good. Is there anything you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah. The last two things. One, at the end of that, music is power to the brain. House of Dragons. Defining emotions relative to goals. He was saying when you are happy, you kind of achieve your goal of your emotional expectation aligned with what happened. When you're sad, your expectation, your emotional expectation was not met. But then he started defining fear, and he didn't relate that to a goal, and I thought that was just sweet. I was like,
he did.
Okay, you did too, and then you thought like
that's enough. Fear next.
Yeah, so I thought that was weird, but I did like the explanation of goals being related to emotions. I thought that was really good. I did want to bring up another thing I learned in some other podcast or video. This was dealing with comedians, and a comedian was explaining how similar to when and this kind of puts both of the videos together is my goal. When you go to the movies, and we can bring it back to entrainment. Okay. When you're watching a movie together, people had heart monitors on all in the theater. After the first, not even a couple minutes, but after you're getting into the movie, everybody's rhythms will synchronize. So you can tell when something exciting happens in the movie, like you will see everybody in the theater's rhythm match up, and that just speaks to how well we are connected and we're supposed to be connected. You feeling that aura of why the movie theaters are so powerful. But he said the same thing when you're a comedian, you want to be able to do the same thing. If you're at a comedy show, people are going on the roller coaster together, like their heart rates. When you are really doing well and you're in your flow state of a zone as a comedian, you want people's like to be quiet at the same time, laughing at the same time. You want to keep controlling the energy in a room. And I was just like, oh,
dang, that's powerful.
Crazy. And he broke it down into how storytelling is what a comedian is actually doing, and how this is how you know when to change certain words, or when you want to bring it up a little bit and bring it back down. You're doing the same thing.
Evoking certain emotions and stuff like that.
And being able to control it. Yeah, so I thought that was powerful, being able to control aspects of a story and how you can apply that to your everyday life.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? You got any other insights about music or anything else from these two videos?
I think...
Anything you think I could learn from or you would recommend for me? Very broad.
Yeah, definitely very broad. I think we both talked about just practicing being in that flow state and how to kind of use that energy. I think sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day of like what's going on in life, and we forget how powerful our energy can be, and just that alignment in that space and making sure that your vibrations are right and that you're kind of in the right mental space. So I think us both, I would say, practicing that. I think we may get away from holding each other accountable in that space, but I know we both know it. We just got to go both practice. So I think that's something that we could both benefit from and grow from these two videos.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. If you're watching these videos, continue to follow and look out for stuff all this month around music and vibrations. I think last month we promised that we would be recording some music videos, so we're going to have some updates on that soon. If you haven't, make sure you
subscribe.
Please, it helps us out. That's all I got.
No, that's good. We appreciate all the support. I'm one of your two hosts, Yogi LG.
Zen P.
This is another Zen Trap Perspective. You can't do nothing else. Protect your peace.
And protect your energy.
It's the Zen Trap.
We out.